Another feature crucial to any programming language is the ability to manipulate numbers. Unfortunately, for shell scripts, this process is a bit awkward. There are two different ways to perform mathematical operations in your shell script. The first one is the expression command or the expr command. Just expr. Originally, the Borneo shell, that's the Borneo shell, that sh Borneo shell provided a special command that was used for processing mathematical equations. That is the expr command. Allowed the processing of equations from the command line, but it is extremely clunky. So then we have moved to the another kind of doing this operations, arithmetic operation, that we'll see. But let's clear the screen first. Okay, expr 1 plus 5, that's that. expr, this was the initial way of performing mathematical or arithmetic operation. 1 times 2, sorry, that's my bad. expr 8 minus 2, that's 6. Then expr 1 or 2, so the command itself is not found. Then expr 8 plus 8, it's 16. So this is how the initially the Borneo shell has used this command to do the arithmetic operations. But now, so but we can also do it using brackets. So if you want to use only expr command, then you have different different ways of doing different operations. So here in this case, the first uh, here 1 is an argument 1 and 2 is an argument 2. So if you use a vertical bar in between argument 1 and argument 2, then that returns argument 1 if neither argument is null or 0, otherwise it returns argument 2. Similarly, argument 1 and argument 2, this is again for the AND logic. So these are different logics, these are logical gates. And if you use a less than symbol, it's again another logic. Argument 1 less than argument 2 returns 1 if argument 1 is less than argument 2, otherwise it returns 0. And another logic is argument 1 less than or equals to argument 2, it returns 1, that's argument 1, if it returns 1 if argument 1 is less than or equals to argument 2, or else it returns 0. These are all different logics. If another condition, argument 1 equals to argument 2, if argument 1, that's 1 is equals to 5, is same, if one argument 1 and argument 2 are same, then it returns 1, or else it returns 0. And similarly happens with the argument 1 greater than or equals to argument 2. If that condition is valid, if that condition is it is complied with that condition, then it returns 1, or else it returns 0. And argument 1 greater than argument 2, same thing happens. Argument 1 plus argument 2, here it just returns with the arithmetic sum of argument 1 and argument 2. And whereas here Argument 1 minus argument 2, it returns with the arithmetic difference of argument 1 and argument 2. Argument 1 asterisk argument 2 returns the arithmetic product of argument 1 and 2. And a forward slash, if you use operator, then it returns the arithmetic coefficient. Then if you use a percentage symbol, it returns with the arithmetic remainder. If you use a string and then colon rejects p, it returns the pattern match if rejects p matches a pattern in the string. So few more operations, few more operations that we can do using this. Okay, so then we moved to the second another way of doing that is using brackets. So the bash shell includes the expr command to stay compatible with the Borny shell. However, it also provides a much easier way of performing mathematical equations. That is, in bash, when assigning a mathematical value to a variable, you can enclose the mathematical equation itself using a dollar sign and square brackets. So that's what we have discussed in even in our previous slides. So you can enclose the mathematical equation using a dollar sign and then square brackets. This is how we do. So this mathematical or arithmetic operation has been assigned as a value to the variable 1. So now when I call echo variable 1, it will print the output of this arithmetic operation or that arithmetic expression. So using brackets makes shell maths much easier than with the expression command. The same technique also works in shell scripts also, but normally we follow this one only in spite of going with the rudimentary or primitive old expr command. Let's go to this and let's use a square bracket 1 plus 5. So the command itself is not found, so let's clear the screen and then where 1 equal to without no spaces and then dollar 1 plus 5. Sorry, now let's echo var 1. Here is the answer. That's how you can use a dollar a square brackets preceded with the dollar to enclose the expression, enclose the arithmetic operations. Now let's look into a floating point solution. If it is a floating point arithmetic operation, how will you do it? You can use several solutions for overcoming the bash integer limitations. The most popular solution uses the built-in bash calculator called BC. Okay, that is one way. The basics of BC, that the bash calculator is actually a programming language that allows you to enter floating point expressions at a command line, and then it interprets the expressions and calculates them. It is one of the utility, one of the GNU utility that you can use to do the floating point calculation that are not possible with the normal operations of bash. Okay, so and basically it returns the result of the calculation that we have mentioned. That is one way you can invoke the BC utility. That's called the bash calculator. It's BC, it's a bash calculator. Or else the another way of doing it is the same way. Here it is. So now the basics of BC, we'll just go through it once. So it consists of numbers, both integer and floating point. It can take any one, either integer or floating point. And variables, it takes simple variables and arrays as well as. And you can if you want to attach a comment, and this is how you have to use a forward slash and then asterisk, space, asterisk, and forward slash pair. Then expressions can be included, and then programming statements such as if and then statements can also include, and functions can also include. So basically this BC, that bash calculator utility, can do a lot of activities for us. So now let's do one exercise in arithmetic operations. So let's get into the our shell script. So let's clear the screen first, and then let's vim it, vim 30 and arithmetic operations.sh, and then I into insert mode. As usual, we have written the shebang and bin bash, the shell. Then our first module, let us experiment some of the arithmetic operations. That is our first module. In that we want to experiment the expr command, that expr command. So this is the command expr, and these are the argument one. First argument one is 1, and then we use summation operator, that is plus, and then argument 2. And let's see, we use the expr method to summation to do the summation of 1 and 5, and let's see what could be the output. That is our first module. Then we will go for the second module. In the second module, uh, here we use expr method to do the mathematical operations, but here we have assigned values to the variable 1 and variable 2, and we want to do that expression calculations using a variable. Now variable 3 itself, we are attaching an expr command, and then we are dividing the variable 2 with the variable 1, and we want to print that result as a variable 3. Let's see what's going to happen in the same way. Then echo, and then final module is using brackets, and the next module is using brackets. So here, in spite of using that primitive expr method, so this time we are doing using brackets, so variable 4, and the value that has been assigned to variable 4 is the output of expression summation of 1 and 5. That's the output, and we just want to print the variable 4 after that. Similarly, we have added a little bit complex calculation. Variable 5 is 100, variable 6 is 50, variable 7 is 45, and we just want to do a complex calculation. That's a multiplication of variable 5 with the subtraction or difference of variable 2 and variable 1. That is just a minute, variable 2 and variable 1 has values on top. Let's see. Okay, this is the complex calculation, and finally we are going to use the bash calculator. It's a BC command or bash calculator. That module is the last one. So using the BC, so what we have to do is this is how you can call it. We have commented all those things. So variable 10 and echo and scale for 3.44, and after that you pipe it, and then you call the BC. BC is to do all this operation, whatever I have mentioned till here, all these operations in BC. That is our bash calculator, and that's what, this is the way we do using bash calculator. Whatever operation you want to do, you mention that operation, and then you pipe it with the BC. The BC is our bash calculator. So all commands has been inserted into our file or our script. So now let us go to the extended edit mode and then type WQ and enter. and let's give permission to the shell to execute it, and once that is done, then we will execute the file and see. So execution permissions are given to the shell. So now let's call and let's execute. That's it. I think almost all are done. No problem, no errors, everything is done. The xpr command, the calculation, and we got the 6. And then after the xpr command, xpr method, we used a bracket method. So we have taken two variables and that also done. Then after that, using bracket method, we have done a complex calculation, that is also done. Then finally we used bash calculator using bash script, so it has given even the complex calculation is also executed. See, you got the floating point number. That's what the problem. This is where we were unable to do the floating point calculation or integer calculation with the expr or brackets, using brackets. But now using bash calculator or bc, we are able to do the floating point calculation also. Just go through this script one more time and execute it and experiment it and enjoy it.